Hey guys, it's Brian Turp Mechanic. I want to apologize here. I'm going to give you a video that has no edits, no cuts whatsoever. I've wanted to do this for a long time and I just never did. Here's the day. Stick with me. Stick with me through all of this. You're gonna hear all of the ridiculousness out of my mouth, all of the fumbles that I cut out all of the time. I got my notes here to keep me on track. I need to get this video out right away, and that's why I'm doing this, because it's November 2nd right now. So I'm filming this video November 2nd. It is the end of the lawn season for nearly everybody. It's not going to be the end of the lawn season for me, and it's not going to be the end of the lawn season for some of the areas around the country that don't ever go dormant. I did a poll here on the Turp Mechanic community page, and I'm going to say somewhere around like 20% of you said that you have green grass growing throughout the course of the year. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're cutting it every 2 days, but it stays green. It doesn't fully go dormant. A lot of the reason for that is even in the areas that are warm enough and the grass type supports green non-dormant grass during the winter time, the sun, it comes down low and it comes in on an angle. We call that lower sun intensity, and the duration of the day is shorter. So it's just like if I were to throw a ball at you and it like hits you smack in the face, it's gonna hurt a lot. But if I hit your face on an angle, it's just gonna bounce off and you're gonna be annoyed by it. It's the same thing with the sun. If it's coming down on an angle like it is in the winter, even if you're in a full sun environment, the grass, it's as if the sun is just bouncing off the grass and going. It's a lower intensity. So even your shade tolerant grasses, cool season grasses that are grown down south where it still stays warm enough, they're just not going to be growing the same way. So all of that is ridiculous. I don't really need to say any of that. This is November lawn care, end of season lawn care for the majority of people. Majority of people that would watch this channel tend to have things that are on this list right here. I just scratched this up on my computer this morning. Most people know that we need to cut our grass a little bit shorter than normal before full dormancy hits, which usually happens between November 1st and November 30th, depending on where you live, depending on your weather patterns for that particular year. You could have green grass in the month of November, but it stops growing. So across the board, nearly all grass types, nearly all, even the grasses that never go dormant whatsoever, they kind of stop growing by November. And that all has to do with the sun intensity. So your grass may stay green, and we've seen, I have personally seen recommendations to fertilize throughout the course of the winter for those areas that never go dormant and keep growing. And that might be the case in an enormously small percentage of people and lawns. But just because it stays green doesn't mean we necessarily need to fertilize it and keep it growing. We want to cut it a little bit shorter. The reason for that is for cool season grasses or warm season grasses that do go dormant. How do I put this? We want the sun, whatever sun happens to be in the sky, we want that sunlight and the heat to be able to hit the soil. So if the sun is hitting the soil because the grass is shorter and there's more soil exposed, then the sun is going to keep that soil, certainly the uppermost level of soil, a little bit warmer. It's not going to be shaded as much. If the grass goes completely dormant and we're getting tons of snow throughout the course of the winter, then there's going to be less grass to mat down on top of the soil, which means any grass seeds or let's call it baby grass or sprouts, or you got lateral growing Kentucky bluegrass. Hey baby, come on out. If that is growing underground and it's coming up, by this time springtime rolls around, if we've got a ton of grass laying down on top of it, it's going to mulch it down. So the longer the leaf blades are, they are more likely to mulch down and kill off the grass that's in the ground. Maybe don't touch the camera. Okay, you can look at it, but don't touch it. I'm talking to people, lots and lots of people. So usually we're going to cut the grass shorter. If the grass is left long and everything goes dormant and it gets covered up with snow, you're far more likely to deal with snow mold or other sorts of early spring, late winter fungal problems. So if we cut it short, things just do better. I would say the caveat to that is if you live in a place like I do, where your grass is most likely not going to go fully dormant throughout the course of the winter, but it's not going to grow all that much, you do want to raise the height up a little bit because that's going to give a little bit more leaf material available to capture sun rays and to photosynthesize. So what you're seeing right here, I know my grass does look short, and it is, but this is me bringing the height of cut up just a little bit. So I've taken my reel mower for here and I've brought it up a notch, and I might bring it up one more notch later in the month. And the same thing goes for over there. That allows the grass to have more leaf material available to capture the sun's light and create energy to continue staying healthy and kind of growing. Let's put it like that. The vast majority of people, though, are going to want to cut it a little bit lower. So that was way too long to say that. Ordinarily, I'd cut that out of the video and redo it. Hey, baby, don't touch the camera. Don't. You can look at it, but don't touch it. So this is the kind of stuff that I cut out of these videos all of the time, but I'm going to leave it in. So this time of year in November, because overnight temperatures everywhere, even here where I live, overnight temperatures are getting into the low 50s, which is ridiculous compared to some of you guys who are experiencing 20 degrees overnight right now. Yeah, you can ride your bike. Go for it.
Yeah, but I just want, can I have just one candy?
You can have a candy, yeah. We're 2 days after Halloween. Candy is a must. We want to be bagging clippings. So every time we mow the grass, especially as we're bringing it lower, even if the grass isn't growing all that much, if we're lowering the height of cut down, then we're actually going down into thicker amounts of material. We don't want to mulch that clippings down onto the lawn. And the reason for that is it's usually too cold for those clippings to break down, kind of compost themselves and reincorporate into the soil. It's just too cold. Here where I live, we're going through a little bit of a warm stretch right now. We never really go dormant. It's like almost 80 degrees today. Even still, it's 50 at night, 80 during the day. So the average of that is what, 65 degrees? This is one of the warmer places in the country. Most places are significantly cooler than that, and the grass is not going to decompose and create and reincorporate into the soil. So that means that all of those clippings are going to stay on the soil exactly as they are, and they will form a mulch. Now, that mulch will provide an insulative barrier to the soil. So if you're having extremely cold areas or extremely cold nights at some place, that mulch, the grass clippings mulch, is going to insulate the root zone to some extent, but it's not going to be important enough of an insulation to offset the fact that it's going to mulch down what is on the lawn. It could kill off dormant grass. So as grass goes dormant, the leaf material kind of like crumbles and falls off, dies off. The mulch could kill a lot of that stuff off. So the risk is greater to kill off your grass if you're mulching your clippings now than if you bag them. The vast majority of people should be bagging their clippings right now as we bring the height of cut down. Now, a couple weeks ago, I put a video out about winterizing the lawn, the last winterizer fertilizer of the year. You can have two, but two little ones. Two little ones, okay? Oh, then only one more, okay? Yeah, that's a gum. So make sure to not swallow that. It tastes good, yes, I know. But we don't swallow gum, okay? But you can have it, just don't swallow it. Go for it. Yeah, you can bite it and chew it. It's funny how we got to teach kids everything whatsoever, like everything. It's wild. A couple weeks ago, I put a video out about winterizing the lawn. Winterizing the lawn is, I don't know, it's a controversial topic because there's so many different ways to look into it. So I'm going to link to the video down in the description below. It's wildly important for you to understand the concept of winterizing the lawn. In my opinion, to just summarize the whole darn thing, in my opinion, winterizing the lawn can be broken down into, do we want to push late season growth? Or do we want to push spring growth by adding nutrients to the soil that will be used in the spring? So in my opinion, we want to put regular fertilizer down in the mid parts of fall if soil temperatures support growth. And so, you know, if your soil temperatures are 55 degrees or higher, and you're not expecting freezing temperatures tomorrow, then just go ahead and fertilize your lawn normal. I wouldn't call that a winterization application. It's just regular fertilizing. If, however, it's November and your soil temperatures are like 55 and you're expecting some frost, some light frost over the next couple of days, and you don't really think things are going to warm up, then you can't be putting down traditional urea-based fertilizers on the lawn. Your grass could be green, it could be growing, and in that case, the only way to push extra growth is to put down a synthetic fertilizer. Now, I don't particularly like putting down synthetic fertilizers. I do it situationally if it calls for it. But if you're going to put down a synthetic fertilizer, it's going to push some additional growth. Some of that might get stored by the plant in the root system, waiting until spring, but probably not a whole lot of it. If you're putting down a synthetic fertilizer, you're literally trying to push the last little bit, the last hurrah of lateral spread in your spreadable grass types or green, rich green growth in your bunch type grasses. That's literally it. So what I like to do for winterization is to put down my last fertilizer push to push growth as a synthetic, but only a small amount because the grass is never really going to grow a ton in the month of November. But as temperatures drop well below 50 degrees, especially this is very pertinent for cool season grasses. If you have a cool season lawn and your grass is green in the month of November, but your soil temperatures are below 50 degrees, throw down an organic fertilizer, some sort of naturally sourced nitrogen fertilizer. I've done this for a good long time, and I've touted this on a number of videos on the channel. I do get a little bit of kickback from people saying, why would you do that? It's a waste because soil bacteria is largely dormant at that stage, so it's not going to break the product down. The thing that people don't realize or think about is cool season, not cool season grasses, the cool season decomposers in the lawn is not soil bacteria. The soil bacteria is what we talk about most of the time because it breaks things down during the warm season. During the cold season, it's fungal decomposers. And fungal decomposers are active in the cold weather. They just work much slower. So there are, like 3-4 different types of varieties of fungus in the lawn. There are the pathogens, the ones that we don't want. There are the ones that live in the soil and they have a symbiotic relationship with the grass. So they provide stuff for the grass and the grass provides stuff for them, and they live together in harmony and they help each other out. And then there are decomposers. There are decomposers that will feed on all of the organic matter and slowly decompose it. That's what happens in cold weather. So if you put down natural fertilizers in cold weather, the fungal decomposers will slowly break these products down over the course of the next 3 months or so, 4 months or so. Depending on how cold it is, it will slow down further, but it will still happen. So if you put that stuff down if you put these natural products down in the month of November when soil temperatures drop enough, the nitrogen and the nutrients that are in these products aren't going to be lost. So if you put urea down, it's going to gas off. If you put down synthetic fertilizers after grass has gone dormant, it will slowly leach out of the system. These are nutrient losses. But if you put down a natural fertilizer, it's just going to sit there. It's like bound up in this organic matter, and fungal activity is slowly going to make them plantable. It's going to break them down. It's going to take long enough to break them down that by the time spring rolls around, you'll have less nutrient loss than any other form of fertilizer. And at that point, your spring growth, so grass, I've said this many times on this channel and a variety of videos, is during the early parts of spring and the end of winter, your grass actually comes out of dormancy from the root first. So the root comes out of dormancy, starts growing, coming alive again, so to speak, before the top growth starts greening up and growing. If the nutrients are in the soil and they have been broken down by that fungal decomposer category of organism, then the grass is going to be able to start feeding significantly earlier in the season than if we did any other thing. I mean, I suppose you could throw down synthetic fertilizer late February, early March, but most people aren't going to do that. So that's my long-winded thoughts about winterizing fertilizers. The full winterizer video is linked down in the description below. I'll probably remember to link it down there. I don't do this, but a lot of people do. So in the month of November or so, it's good to put down a fungicide to prevent snow mold. So I talk about snow mold and how we can prevent it by treating our lawn throughout the year for health as opposed to growth. I do agree with that. I believe that wholeheartedly. I don't care about pushing excessive growth. I don't want to sit there and make a video of me showing the visual effects of cutting the grass a little bit lower. I mow my grass nearly every single day. You can't tell that I'm mowing the grass because it grows so slow that you don't notice it. So it just never gets tall, and when I cut it, it doesn't look like I'm cutting anything. That's why it always looks about the same. If, however, you have been on a program of not fertilizing your lawn for a long time, not caring for your lawn for years, or if you've been on a program of, I'm just gonna pump growth, like for growth's sake, just for the fun of it, grow that grass up and hack it down and lay stripes. And if you've been doing that for a long time, using a lot of urea, a lot of synthetic fertilizers, not really caring for the soil or adding very many, if any, micronutrients or trace elements to the lawn, biostimulants to the lawn, your lawn is far more likely to experience disease throughout the course of the year. It could be spring, summer, fall, or winter. And winter is one of those times where we talk about snow mold and other related winter diseases. So if you expect or if you have experienced snow mold in the past, this is the time to put down a winter preventative fungicide. I'm not going to do it. I don't have a video on this channel explaining how to do it. Go ahead and take a look at many of the other videos here on YouTube. They do go into that subject. That is not my area of expertise, but it is the time of the year to do this. If you do want to retain the coloring of your lawn, most people, aside from, let's say, transition zone areas running warm season grasses, those areas will probably have brown grass at this time of year, like early November. But most places are going to have green grass that isn't growing, that will be going dormant, like fully dormant very soon. If you got one of those places and you want your grass to retain its color a little bit longer, this is the time of the year to put down straight liquid iron onto the lawn. You spray it. Like, don't put a granular down. It's not really the best practice to do that. Put a sprayable product onto the lawn. That liquid iron is going to go into the lawn. It's going to deepen up that green, and it's going to hold it for a lot longer simply because the grass isn't growing. It's not going to grow that iron out. It's an optional step, and it doesn't really make the grass any healthier or less healthy. It just retains the color longer. I did that over here about 10, 12 days ago. I did a small overseed also. So we've got a lot more green over there than we did 2 weeks ago. That green's gonna last for a good long time. So that's what you're gonna do. I've got some videos about that, also linked down below. I'm gonna stop saying that. Almost all of these points I have a video on down in the description. So make sure to go take a look down there for expanded information on any of these topics. Oh yeah, related, warm season grass. So that's what I got over here. It's mostly Bermuda, but about 12, 13, 14 days ago, I overseeded annual rye into this Bermuda grass. As you see back here, half of the lawn is fully shaded. The Bermuda grass wants to stay wants to stay active at this time of year in this temperature zone. But Bermuda grass will also, it doesn't like the shade. It wants to be in full sun. So this time of year, the sun is low enough in the sky that I have too much shade on my lawn, and half of my lawn is going to brown out. It's going to cause that Bermuda grass to go dormant, not because of the temperature, but because of the light intensity or the lack of sunlight. So this time of year, lots and lots of Bermuda grass lawns, or other kinds of warm season grass lawns like your zoysias or your buffalo grasses, they're just going to go dormant. They're going to go brown, either because of temperature or low sunlight levels. So if that happens to you and you want to push green throughout the course of the winter, stick an annual rye down. It's a very normal thing to do in warm season climates to overseed annual rye into a warm season grass. It will allow your lawn to stay green and growing throughout the course of the year, like 12 months out of the year. Annual rye is very easy to grow from seed in almost all possible scenarios. And later in the year, when you want to get rid of it, if you want to get rid of it, it's incredibly easy to kill all by itself. No matter what grass type you have, there's some easy way of killing annual rye out of that grass type. You don't have to wait until July 3rd for temperatures to hit 105 degrees for the annual rye to die. It literally is a temporary grass. Arguably, I would say that even in ideal growing conditions, annual rye will still die on its own before a whole season has passed. Now, this time of year, another thing for warm season lawns or for cool season lawns that have experienced winter weed problems. If you didn't overseed your lawn this fall, the overseeding window is mostly past by the time November has rolled around. Put down a winter pre-emergent. This is something that I've talked about on the channel before. I've got linked in the description if you want to see it. But putting down a winter pre-emergent is going to stop winter weeds, or one of the most commonly known ones is Poa annua. It's an annual bluegrass. It's going to infest warm season lawns and significantly make those lawns look worse throughout the course of the winter and the very early parts of spring. You're not going to notice it as much in cool season lawns, but there will be a coloring difference. A lot of times you'll find like spottiness in a lawn because the annual grasses tend to have a different color than those perennial grasses. It's just not, and they have a different growth rate. Like annual grasses tend to grow faster. So every time you mow the grass, let's say for instance, 3 days later, the annual grasses are taller than the perennial grasses. So it's going to make your lawn look unkempt and messy most of the time. So if you didn't overseed, put down a winterizer or a winter pre-emergent right now, and that's going to make your lawn look a lot better in the months of January, February, March, and even April. I should say that if you did overseed, which I did over here, plus I've got a little bit of brand new Kentucky bluegrass here in the spot that I'm sitting on, you wouldn't want to be putting down a pre-emergent on newly seeded lawn space because of root pruning and potentially baby grass kill. The root system needs to be established enough to be able to resist the effects of pre-emergent application. So those pre-emergent chemicals are basically going to stop roots from growing down there. So those roots need to be established enough, otherwise they're just going to die off. So I'm not doing it here. Personally, I haven't applied a winter pre-emergent since I started this channel 4 years ago. I try to stay away from chemicals as much as possible, but a lot of people out there need it. So if you need it, this is the time to do it. Don't wait any longer, otherwise you're going to miss your opportunity completely. Late in the fall, November, Dithiopyr is your friend because it's got a small amount of post-emergent effect. So anything that germinated within the past few weeks, a Dithiopyr product is going to help pre-emerge and kill off those things that have already germinated that you missed a couple weeks ago. Soil amending pH adjustments. This is the time of year, like you literally have to do it. There's really no bad time of the year to put down soil sulfur to lower pH or lime to raise pH. during the month of November, especially for lawn fanatics, people who really like their lawns, we want to do stuff and we don't really think of much to do in the month of November, but these kind of amending products are perfect for this time of year. Soil sulfur takes months to break down. If you want to have a better spring and you've got alkaline soil, like high pH soil, put soil sulfur down now and give it the most chance possible to take effect by spring. If you put it down now, you're going to have a better spring. Same thing with lime. Lime is a little bit faster acting than soil sulfur, but still, if you want to have a better spring and you have really acidic soil, if you put down lime now, it's going to adjust the soil pH over the course of the next couple months, and you'll have a better spring. Lime, you typically have to reapply it just by nature of, I don't know, the science behind the whole thing. I've got videos on this. If you care, take a look at them. They're linked in the description below. But if we put stuff down now, like we're not putting lime or sulfur down now to adjust the soil pH to affect the grass tomorrow. We're applying this stuff to affect the grass 6 months from now, 4 months from now, 12 months from now. In lawn care, it's a long play. Everything we do should be a long play. Certainly there's some things that we can do that are short-lived, short plays, but over the course of time, the long plays they make a bigger difference. They make a bigger difference for the long run. Apply these things now in the month of November. We still have a little bit of heat in the air during the daytime. We might have coolness during the nighttime, but you're gonna get a little bit of soil pH change throughout the course of the winter, and you can have a better starting position. Like, do you really wanna start the race in last place, or do you wanna start the race closer to first place come March? I wanna start closer to first place. Apply those things now. Oh, this is a cool one. I actually don't have a video about this, but I have talked about it in a couple shorts. I think I made a couple shorts about this. If you apply gypsum to the lawn, but not the whole lawn, like think about this. This applies to cool season areas that have roads where the city salts the roads, or maybe you're just a heavy user of ice melt on your sidewalks and your driveways. Ice melt has a ton of ice in it. Salts that go onto the roads to melt ice and keep the roads safe to use, and then the plows come by and they plow it onto the side of the lawn. All of those salts go into the lawn right next to our paved surfaces, whether it be a road or a sidewalk or a driveway. And those salts stick in there in the lawn, and they kill the grass. They don't kill it during the winter because we don't see it, everything's all dormant. But by springtime, everything comes back to life again, except for the areas that have had a lot of salt deposited on them, usually from salted roads, from the snowplows, or ice melt from our sidewalks. If we apply gypsum to the lawn before all of that happens, so that's usually in the month of November, maybe the first part of December, we can put gypsum along the edges, and that's going to go and it's going to allow the salts to flush and to leach out of the root zone of our grass faster, like way faster than if we didn't apply it in the first place. So all you warm season guys out there, this probably doesn't apply. This is really just for like the cold areas. And even then, only certain areas use a lot of salts. But if that happens, like if you constantly have plows, like throwing plowed salted road stuff onto your lawn, get the gypsum down now, because you could do a preventative later, but you still have to repair the damage. If you apply it now, you're less likely to get damage. All right, November. Everyone knows about leaves. There's lots of trees out there that drop pine needles and nuts. So walnuts and short pine needles and long pine needles, all of these things. Yeah, you can go out there and rake constantly. Raking pine needles up, everybody knows, or at least a lot of people know, that pine needles are acidic. The thing is that they don't really change the soil pH the way that, I don't know, the way that some people think that they do. They are acidic, but then as they break down, they become neutralized by soil biology in the form of microbes, bacteria, or fungal decomposers. They become alkaline, or they don't become alkaline, they become neutral. But they mulch things down. And a general garden rake is a little bit.
To the 2 trees.
Yeah, go for it. Go to the 2 trees. Come on back. A regular garden rake is a lot of work to do, especially if you're doing it every day or so, every day or 2 or 3. A lawn sweeper. This is a product that probably a very small minority of people own, but they don't cost all that much, and they don't require electricity like a dethatcher does, or gas like a lawnmower. I mean, I use battery mowers. So anyway, but point is they're just mechanical. There's no power behind them. You just push them and it sweeps and it throws things into a catcher. If you got pine needles or nuts, these things will pick them up, and you don't necessarily have to pick them up off of the ground. They will decompose down there, but most lawns are going to perform significantly better in the spring. They're going to be thicker with less dead patches if we pick this stuff up. If you get yourself a lawn sweeper, it is super easy, like way easy to just push it across the grass and pick all of that debris up every couple days. If we're doing it every couple days, it comes up really easy. If you wait every 3 weeks or so, then that stuff gets ground in, and then it's a lot harder. Pick up a lawn sweeper, they don't cost too much, and they're gonna make your life a lot nicer. All right, so at this point, the vast majority of you have already overseeded, or you have decided to not overseed whatsoever, or seed a new lawn space. Don't, if you're thinking maybe it's still fall, maybe I'll put some grass seed down, don't do it. There's probably a handful of minority situations where you could put some grass seed down right now in the month of November, early November, mid-November, and it'll work out just fine. Like my area, I could put grass seed down right now and it'll work. But I'm in a minority location. Almost nobody should be putting grass seed down at this point. If you're putting it down now, it's too late. If it grows up, it's going to be too immature to get through winter, if it comes up at all. And if you're putting it down thinking I'm dormant seeding, it's too early. It's going to be on the ground way too long. The best dormant seeding happens by at least midwinter. I like to say, it's not even midwinter, I like to say January. If you're going to dormant seed, wait till at least January, because the longer the dormant seed grass seed is on the ground, the more waste you're going to have. The more of it is going to be lost. So the way that grass seed germinates is that the seed saturates with moisture, and the shell softens, and then a biological process kicks into gear to start the germination process if temperatures allow for it. And every place that I've ever lived has always had a warm stretch over winter. And so if you have a warm stretch over winter where your daytime high maybe gets to 50, 55 degrees, there's a chance that some of that seed will start germinating and then get killed off again when temperatures drop back down. So wait till January. You're going to have the least amount of waste. Wait for a relatively dry, relatively warm day after all of the snow has melted. Stick it on the ground, that grass seed down on the ground in January, maybe even the 1st of February, and then leave it alone. At some point, you'll get another dusting of snow and some good freezes. It's going to cover up, and then it's going to act like a real dormant seeding scenario where that grass actually starts growing somewhere towards the mid to late part of March. That's what we want with dormant seeding. If you're putting dormant seeding grass seed down in the month of November and December, almost all of it is going to be wasted. It's not going to be all of it. Some of it will come up in the spring. But if you're putting down 10 pounds of seed, and depending on the seed that you're putting down, I mean, you could be dropping 20, 30, 40 bucks of seed down for every 1,000 square feet, and only 10% or less of it might come up in the spring. It's just wasteful. Here you go. If you got trees, I don't really have trees. I do have bushes over there behind me. Those bushes cast a ton of shade onto the lawn. This is the time of the year that if you care about tree care or shrub maintenance, this is when most shrubs and trees get pruned, fall. For the lawn, for the sake of the lawn, if we're pruning these things in the month of November after leaves start coming down, we're actually going to be opening up more sunlight to the lawn. So later in the day, when the sun is coming this way, over the course of the lawn, if my bushes are smaller, thinner, more of the sun is going to come through the bushes and hit the lawn. So my lawn will stay a little bit warmer, a little bit greener, a few days longer. Plus the health of the bush or the tree will improve because we're introducing airflow, and that tree isn't going to be putting new growth effort into things that you're going to prune off in the middle of the spring. Get rid of them now so that it's putting all of the effort into the actual desirable foliage and woody growth. Throughout the course of the winter, if the lawn is able to get more sun on it because your trees and your shrubs have been pruned properly, even the lawn space around those trees and shrubs, those spaces are going to come back into spring flush a little bit earlier than they would have otherwise. All right, I got a whole outro here that I scripted out. I'm not going to say it right now. This video is long. This is what happens when I just off the cuff just ramble. I hope you appreciated this video. I've got winter videos, winter guides, which I'll link to either in the end screen or down in the description below. Make sure to take a look at those. I also have an email series that goes out for new lawn owners or lawn owners who care about their lawns for the first time ever. Linked in the description. Go take a look at that if that's something you're interested in. I do want to say that if your lawn doesn't go dormant over the winter, like if it stays green and growing, I'm gonna have a series of videos coming out throughout the course of November going into December about those kinds of lawns and the lawn care, the tasks that we should be taking for those lawns throughout the course of the winter. If we got snowpack on the ground, you know, in like Iowa, it doesn't matter. But if you live in Oklahoma and you're growing a perennial rye, or if you live in Arizona and you're growing a buffalo grass, like these lawns are going to stay green. If you're living coastal California, like I am, just about every lawn here is going to be mostly green. Lawn care rules are completely different here. So oh, yeah, what's up? Here, let's sign off together. Let's sign off together. So just hit that subscribe button and hit the like button so that you see those videos when they come out. All right, I gotta go tend to my daughter now. She's ignored me for long enough. She needs me. Take care, guys. What's up, girlie?
Did you see me?
Did I see you?
Yeah.